as they get back towards the Windward Park. That's Mirsky ducking underneath Richard, and Richard tacks in front of him. Ooh, incident, and that's a collision. Surely the umpires are going to have something to say about that. Blue penalty, so that is a penalty against Mirsky.
Då så, mina damer och herrar, vi hälsar er välkommen till presskonferens, och inte bara vilken presskonferens som helst, utan vi ska också ha valet här utav kvartsfinalerna. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the press conference for the final rounds just before we head into the quarter-final pick, which we're going to do right after this brief press conference to hear a little bit about what the skippers that has been sailing during the afternoon has to say. And let's start out with Mattias. We can just ask you, as the reigning champion coming into this and having a tough call against you, what are your thoughts right now?
Of course, I'm very disappointed. I expected this to be a very good event for us, and I think we have actually sailed pretty well. We had a relatively big lead today against Sebastian, but we got the penalty for one guy hiking too much. And we have lost 2 races, one against Johnny because the wind just dropped down. So we haven't been lucky, if you say it that way. So of course I'm disappointed, and I wanted much more out of this than it happened.
Give us your, I mean, it's a technical foul, it's a technical penalty. Give us your thoughts on how you viewed that incident.
I think the umpires, they make their calls, and I think it's always up to them, but there are always different the way an umpire can handle stuff like this. Either you can kind of get some kind of warning, or you listen to the guys in the other boat that screams a lot. And obviously they listen to the guys on Sebastian's boat that screamed a lot. So when you're having some umpires, you have to scream a lot to get your decisions through. So that was the case today.
And then you came down to trying to take your penalty, and you rounded about, and that was what I guess the red flag was all about.
Yeah, we had a pretty good lead. After the umpire call, we sailed pretty well, and we had a relatively good lead. We didn't do our best penalty turn at the finish, and. Yeah, obviously we called or we crossed the line half a second or a second after Sebastian. We thought we crossed before him, and that's the reason why we had the red flag up. But I think the guys on the race committee boat, they probably have the best view, so it's not much to say about that, I think.
Okay. Is there anything just right after coming off the boat, and is there anything that you can say right now that you would have liked to do different?
Actually, no. I mean, we after winning almost every single pre-start we have done during this regatta, you normally win the race, but we didn't. So I wouldn't do much difference. I would say maybe we could have sailed a little bit better on the course, but we didn't. So. And I mean, we are a team, and it's our call together. So I don't blame anyone. It's our fault that we didn't went through. At the same time, I have to say that I'm very happy that my wife went through, and is going to sail the semi-finals. That's also very important for me. And she actually got a phone call from my little daughter, who asked if I was winning, and my wife said no, he didn't. But then my little daughter, 4 years old, said, well, it doesn't matter. Dad has so many prizes at home anyway. So that always gives you a smile on your lips. And I mean, it's there are much more important things like this than this.
Yeah, you've been sailing against guys that are pretty much permanent on the tour. Does that count for a downside for you guys?
I mean, I think maybe that's a little bit of the reason why we have the results we have here, is that we are not that updated as the other guys on different new rules and so on that happens every single tour event. where some of the guys that have tour cards, they are sailing every single event, and they are very well in pace with the umpires, they make special calls, new rules, kind of every single regatta. And we come and doing this first tour event since Bermuda in October, and of course that's a little bit of a negative side for us.
Okay, thank you, Mattias, and welcome back next year.
Thank you.
Sebastian, the same situation.